The Little Girl Who Changed Everything. Roald Dahl's Matilda is one of the most beloved stories in children's literature. Published in 1988, it introduces us to Matilda Wormwood, a precocious and extraordinarily gifted young girl stuck in a world of neglect and ignorance. While her parents dismiss her as a nuisance, and her headmistress terrorizes the students, Matilda's incredible intellect and kind heart set her apart. Her journey from a powerless child to a courageous hero is packed with humor, mischief, and triumph over adversity. Dahl's whimsical storytelling and Quentin Blake's iconic illustrations bring to life a tale that celebrates the power of intelligence, kindness, and self-discovery. Matilda is more than just a bookworm. She's an unforgettable symbol of resilience and determination. Meet Matilda, a genius in the wrong family. Matilda Wormwood is not your average 5-year-old. While most children her age are learning to tie their shoes, Matilda is teaching herself to read. By the age of 4, she has devoured all the children's books in the local library and moved on to classics like Dickens, Hemingway, and Austen. Her thirst for knowledge is insatiable, and she spends hours every day reading while her family ignores her. Unfortunately, Matilda's parents are the polar opposite of their brilliant daughter. Mr. Wormwood, a dodgy car salesman, spends his days bragging about his dishonest schemes, while Mrs. Wormwood is obsessed with bingo and television. Both parents dismiss Matilda as a freak, failing to recognize her brilliance and treating her with contempt. But Matilda is no pushover. Armed with her quick wit and sharp mind, she finds ways to outsmart her neglectful parents. When her father gloats about cheating customers, she sneaks into his study and glues his hat to his head. When he rips up one of her beloved library books, she retaliates by adding bleach to his hair tonic. Her pranks are as clever as they are satisfying, showcasing Matilda's resourcefulness and sense of justice. The Wormwood household, a study in absurdity. Roald Dahl spares no effort in painting the Wormwoods as caricatures of ignorance and greed. Mr. Wormwood is particularly absurd, constantly bragging about his shady business practices. He prides himself on selling faulty cars for inflated prices, calling it smart business. Mrs. Wormwood, on the other hand, spends her days glued to the television, dismissing reading as a waste of time. Matilda's older brother, Michael, is a carbon copy of his parents, lazy, uninterested in learning, and completely overshadowed by Matilda's brilliance. The Wormwoods' disdain for education and intellectual curiosity is almost comical, but it also underscores the loneliness Matilda feels as an outsider in her own family. A sanctuary of books, Matilda's library escape. Matilda's one refuge is the local library, a place where she finds solace and inspiration. Mrs. Phelps, the kind librarian, becomes her silent ally, providing her with a steady supply of books and never questioning why such a young child spends hours reading alone. Through literature, Matilda discovers worlds beyond her dull, oppressive home, finding heroes and stories that fuel her imagination and resilience. This love for books becomes the foundation of Matilda's character. Her favorite authors, Dickens, Steinbeck, and Kipling, shape her worldview, teaching her about bravery, kindness, and the power of the human spirit. Cruncham Hall, a school like no other. Matilda's world changes when she starts attending Cruncham Hall Primary School. The school is a mix of opposites. It's both a place of terror and a sanctuary of friendship. On the one hand, there's Miss Trunchbull, the tyrannical headmistress whose cruel punishments strike fear into the hearts of students. On the other hand, there's Miss Honey, Matilda's kind and nurturing teacher, who immediately recognizes her extraordinary gifts. Miss Trunchbull is a larger-than-life villain, known for her sadistic discipline methods. She hurls children across the playground by their pigtails, locks them in a closet called the chokey, and delights in humiliating her students. Her hatred for children is as exaggerated as it is horrifying, but her over-the-top antics also add a layer of dark humor to the story. Miss Honey, in contrast, is the epitome of warmth and kindness. She quickly realizes that Matilda is no ordinary student. When Matilda demonstrates her ability to solve advanced mathematical problems and recite literary works far beyond her years, Miss Honey is stunned. Matilda's secret power. As Matilda's frustration with the injustices around her grows, something extraordinary happens. she discovers she has telekinetic powers. She first notices this ability during a confrontation with Miss Trunchbull. Overwhelmed by anger, Matilda finds that she can move objects with her mind. At first, Matilda is shocked and confused by her new power, but she quickly learns to control it. She practices in secret, honing her ability to manipulate objects at will. This newfound skill becomes her secret weapon, giving her a sense of control in a world where she often feels powerless. Miss Honey's story, a life of quiet suffering. While Matilda admires Miss Honey for her kindness and gentle nature, she soon learns that her beloved teacher has a tragic backstory. Miss Honey confides in Matilda about her cruel upbringing under the care of her aunt, who is none other than Miss Trunchbull. After the death of her parents, Miss Honey was left in the custody of her domineering aunt, who treated her like a servant and kept her in poverty. Even as an adult, Miss Honey struggles to break free from her aunt's control. She lives in a tiny rundown cottage and works tirelessly as a teacher, all while Miss Trunchbull continues to bully her. Matilda is deeply moved by Miss Honey's story and becomes determined to help her. Rebellion at Cruncham Hall. Matilda's telekinetic powers prove to be the key to standing up to Miss Trunchbull. During a dramatic classroom confrontation, Matilda uses her abilities to frighten the headmistress into submission. She makes a piece of chalk float in midair, writing a message on the blackboard that appears to come from the spirit of Miss Honey's deceased father. The message accuses Miss Trunchbull of her crimes and orders her to leave the school. Terrified, Miss Trunchbull flees Cruncham Hall, never to return. The students and teachers rejoice, finally free from her reign of terror. A new beginning for Matilda and Miss Honey. With Miss Trunchbull gone, Miss Honey is finally able to reclaim her family home and live a life of peace and happiness. Matilda, too, finds a sense of belonging with her teacher, who becomes a surrogate mother figure. Meanwhile, the Wormwoods' dodgy dealings catch up with them, and they are forced to flee the country to avoid arrest. They offer to take Matilda with them, but for the first time, Matilda asserts her independence. She chooses to stay with Miss Honey, where she knows she will be loved and appreciated. Final thoughts. A celebration of intelligence and kindness. Matilda is more than just a story about a gifted child with extraordinary powers. It's a celebration of intelligence, resilience, and the importance of standing up to injustice. Through Matilda's journey, Roald Dahl reminds readers that even the smallest person can make a big difference. The book is infused with Dahl's trademark humor and wit, making it as entertaining as it is inspiring. Matilda's triumph over her neglectful parents and the tyrannical Miss Trunchbull is a testament to the power of determination and kindness. In the end, Matilda leaves readers with a powerful message. Never underestimate the strength of a bright mind and a kind heart. Whether you're a child or an adult, this story has something to teach us all about courage, compassion, and the magic of learning. Stay tuned for more enlightening content. Head over to www.mybooksummary.com. Don't forget to subscribe and share the magic with friends. And let's grow together through the power of books and interesting stories.